is this truly frightening work of cosmic horror. It's full of unsettling images, such as the astronaut's sort of like severed hand floating in front of him and sort of waves at him, which is really creepy. But there's also lots of thematically laden images, like one of the opening shots is of a crucifix, like floating through empty space, which is just loaded. It's a loaded imagery. It's really clever. And I think what it does great is that constantly escalating sense of sheer horror and hopelessness. The more we find out about the astronaut's predicament, the greater our sense of just sheer terror and hopelessness grows and grows and grows until it just like swallows you whole. So I think that it is an immaculately crafted small hit of cosmic horror that would probably make Lovecraft a bit jealous.
It was just a great visual piece in particular, but not just because of how great the animation was or how great the construct of space and the cosmic aesthetic was, but sort of how it matched the emotional and sort of philosophical themes of being alone, trying to find yourself, being lost in the universe. And I thought a lot of the ideas visually really matched that mood. I thought the young lady's voice really created a very sort of sinister undercurrent that created a strong emotional reaction in me in particular, and I thought that the short time frame really helped contribute to making everything that you saw on screen matter much more, and created a very sort of focused and detail oriented approach that really created a lasting impression. So I thought it was well done, clearly well designed in construction in terms of animation and cinematography, and then really every aspect of the filmmaking, especially the sound design matched with the visual cues, really created an experience that was easy to get into, easy to relate to, and easily to sort of suspend disbelief and allow you to really become immersed in it. So
I think your voiceover for the actor who did that did a sensational job. You could hear the emotion that was in his voice. I think that it was really well acted and really well played. I loved what they were doing with it and kind of keeping you a little on the edge of your seat to try to figure out what was going on. I liked the ending, the little twist to the ending. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
This is an imaginative story. I enjoyed it. The astronaut that's floating around in space for what he thinks may be years, that's intriguing. And there's some touching moments, like when he hears his wife's voice and he's very conflicted as he sees his hand floating around because he's lost a hand and a leg. There's a little bit of humor in it to balance off this dooming situation as he talks to his hand and blames the hand for how he's ended up. It's creative and haunting, the scenes of seeing Earth below and knowing that he may never get any help. It's a thoughtful piece for an animation. I did enjoy that.
You could feel the isolation of space as he watched over Earth. And it even answers the question that you wonder through the whole film, how is he still alive? His ship is gone. His uniform is in shambles. By all logic, he should be dead. But then the animation shows an alien form attached to the back of his head, using him as a host. So it answers the question in a way that makes sense, as if the creature is feeding off his brain. It's very interesting that they chose to do this in the style of an animation instead of an actor on like a green screen or something. I think it actually makes it more effective to feel the isolation and to use a familiar song. To use a familiar song to make it even more haunting. Because that's really what this film feels like. It's a little haunting using a familiar lullaby to make it more impactful.
I thought this was really cool. First of all, it's animated really beautifully. I love the style. I thought that it was just a really like simple but remarkably beautiful job on that. I thought that the concept of the story was like bone chilling, and like I just love that concept of this alien parasite keeping someone alive, like one of those parasites that like, attaches to like an ant and zombifies it and everything. I thought that you did a really great job of building out this character through just a lot of quick images that you didn't need to explain. They really filled out this guy, and they made him feel real regardless. It was just a really, really great job from top to bottom. I thought that this was really great.
I loved the animation. I loved the colors that they used because they were really vibrant. And I think that when you're dealing with space, especially, I think there's a tendency to go really dark. So I liked that they did choose a lot of really colorful aspects. And then the entire story that he was telling was just kind of wild. And you really feel for him being trapped in this kind of limbo state of living but not living, and being so powerless and not really understanding what's going on besides what he went through and had to deal with and what he is, missing out on. And I thought it was really, really interesting to have this character that is really trapped in this, like I said, like this limbo stage, and him kind of just having to repeat day in and day out of him in this hand and his memories and what happened, and being some sort of host of some kind and not knowing it.
Evokes some feeling of loneliness in the viewer, especially because we see this astronaut basically left alone in the space, dying. I mean, he doesn't even know why he's still alive, and he just cannot do anything. He can't get back to Earth, and he will probably die really soon. Although you see his hands, and his hand is very important because the hand symbolizes all the things, the bad things that he did in his life, and he realizes that maybe it is a good thing that he's gonna die soon. And I think this screenplay is very, very clever and gives shines a light on the last minute of a man who made a lot of mistakes during his life, and he is now paying the price. The animation is absolutely well done. It's a great job of in the animation department, and I think that the idea of having just one character doing a long monologue is also quite hooking and engaging, and it gives us a good amount of feeling that the monologue manages to enter inside.
In this short animated film, we meet a severely wounded astronaut that's drifting in outer space. You just find out that he has a totally compromised suit with the helmet all crashed down and severely wounded with no hand or leg, no arm or leg, and he is questioning himself. How can he still be alive? Talking to himself, doing some recon, and it is terrifying to find out what's behind this thing. And it was great. I love the drawing technique.